Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to SUVtv, Cyber Athletics Invitational Royal Rumble, the marquee game of the weekend, as we are going to have the Donda Academy Doves out of Los Angeles, California, taking on the host, Keystone Academy Kings. Hello, everyone, again. I am Kyle Goodwin, joined by executive producers Marcus and Lisa Burnett, and my broadcast partner, Justin Brantley, the National Recruiting Director of SUVtv. Justin, just hype. Wow. Everything about this game. I've been on pins and needles all day thinking about it.
This is the atmosphere. This is the lineup. This is the matchup. This is what everybody's been waiting on. And as you can see, it's a full house in here.
Yeah, I think whatever the capacity is, multiply it by 5, and that's what we're going to be at, for attendance. They got people packed in here like sardines. And if you want to just talk about some of the top players in this game, go through the starting lineups real quick. How about for the visiting team, the Donda Academy Doves? Amarian Bodrick will be joined by Brandon White, Jakari Howard, J.J. Taylor, and the man that we're going to be calling a lot, Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not certain, but it looks like Zion Cruz took Amarian's starting spot in the lineup here tonight. And if that's the case, Zion Cruz coming back to the Northeast. He's from Jersey City, New Jersey, not too far up the road. This is comfort for him. He's going to be excited for this game. So, and on this side, Blanchett starting again. So we're seeing some matchup adjustments.
So on the other side for Keystone, they're going to go with mainly guard lineup in Dellquan Warren, Jan Farrell, Brian Blanchett, Prince Mosinga, and Marquell Darnell, and we'll see some Thomas Tutt. He was a big man the other day along with Andrea Milvanovic. Donda comes in their black jerseys with gray numerals. Keystone in their white with purple trim and purple numerals. And we already talked about Rob, but let's talk about the other side. You go to Dellquan Warren. How much of a marquee matchup is this between Dellquan and Rob Dillingham?
Yeah, Dellquan showed me something yesterday that I've been waiting to see from him and been interested in seeing from him, and that's the ability to be a facilitator. Oh, it looks like Zion's not going to start. Bodrick is in that starting lineup.
Well, they're trying to play games with us, but we will see Zion Cruz, as he didn't have a chance to play yesterday, but he will play tonight. And the tip is won by Donda, as White tips it back to J.J. Taylor. Taylor gives it off to Dillingham, and Dellquan Warren already all over him. Forced the ball back into the backcourt, and Dillingham has to recover. Nice marquee matchup of two of the best guards in the country going at it. And Dillingham strikes first blood as he throws one off the glass and in.
He makes those look so easy. He did that all night last night. It made us wonder how in the world did he get that up off the glass and make it, and he picked up right where he left off.
I'm never going to ask how with Rob Dillingham again. I'm just going to ask who wins the next one. The Kings moving the ball around the perimeter. They find Mosinga for a right wing three. That one's off the mark. Howard can't control the rebound, though, as it goes out of bounds. Going to stay with Keystone on the baseline.
I don't think that's the shot they wanted there. Prince has shown the ability to knock down the outside shot, but you have to take advantage of each possession when you're playing in a game like this.
Well, Prince going to fire another jumper. This one a little inside the arc. Loose ball. Farrell runs it down. He's going to fire a three. Back iron, no. So the perimeter game not there early for the Kings, but the offensive boards are. They're getting another chance. Warren blocked by Howard on that one. Mosinga recovers. Farrell in the corner. Step back. Three. Off the iron, no. And Howard corrals the rebound for Donda. J.J. Taylor up ahead. Puts him on the spin cycle. Can't finish, but the second chance by Taylor is tipped in.
Great job sticking with it, bringing an additional extra effort to get a second chance opportunity.
Blanchett fires a three. That's off the mark. And Darnell could not save it. Out of bounds to Donda with a quick 4-0 lead in the opening minutes.
There you get a look at J.J. Taylor sticking with it, fighting through the trees down low to get the putback.
Dillingham left of the lane with the left hand all the way into the hoop. lost control, out of bounds, turnover, back to the Kings. If anything, just pop some popcorn, sit back and enjoy these guards tonight. Warren gets a screen, gets down right of the lane, scoop shot off the glass, can't finish. Howard pulls away the rebound, looking to push for Donda. Pass up ahead, deflected, comes in the hands of Taylor. Taylor lays it back, Howard up and under, gets all the way to the hoop, and he's met at the rim by Marquell Darnell.
And the crowd was excited to see that.
Blanchett's three, no. Mosenga with the rebound. Mosenga trying to take it in. His little hook shot, no. Off the mark, Darnell runs down the loose ball, puts it back up, no. Warren another chance, pass behind the back. Unfortunate, off the mark. And there is some of the flashes of Dellquan Warren as he tried to get it to Marquell Darnell from behind the back. But you gotta love the effort of Keystone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Unfortunately, right now, Keystone's 0-8 from the field. They've got to find the bottom of the net, but the effort and intensity is definitely there.
Dillingham doing everything he can to shake Warren. Finds Taylor, corner three. Off the mark, no. Darnell's there for a rebound.
Zion Cruz is into the ball game.
Zion Cruz did check in, last chance. Warren, he's gonna fire a three and hit it. Dellquan Warren from the right side, first points, and the home faithful on their feet. Zion Cruz with his first touch. Up top to Dillingham, and Warren is just Afghan coverage on him. Skip pass, finds Taylor, right side, gets bumped into the corner. Farrell all over him. What defense being played by the Kings early. Into the corner, Bodrick three, right at the shot clock buzzer, no. Farrell off and running, gonna take it right at Cruz, scoop up under, can't finish though. And Dillingham clears the board. Rob Dillingham racing ahead, goes all the way to the hoop, uncontested, and lays it in. And you gotta give some pressure to Rob Dillingham.
Well, that's the easiest bucket Dillingham's had all weekend. You know, it's almost like he was waiting on the pressure to come, and it never made it there.
And then he looked, he's like, wait, nobody's here, I might as well shoot. Warren gets down, skipped into the corner. Taylor got a tip on it, then it tipped off of Blanchett, and it's gonna go out of bounds, and the Zebras are gonna talk about it.
Nope,
First they said Donda, and then they tried to talk about it.
They're on the same page. He just wanted to make sure that Darnell had time to tie his shoe up.
So it is a turnover, back to Donda, 6-3, approaching the midway point here, first quarter. Zion Cruz, a 6'4" senior, bring the ball into the front court. Hand off to Dillingham. Dillingham dribbles with the left hand, lob down low, looking for Taylor. Nice denial by Darnell and a turnover. Up ahead, Blanchett uses his body to fend off the defender. Can't finish, but he draws the foul. And 2 free throws coming up for Brian Blanchett.
There we get a look at it. Just attacking and Jan Farrell following. We can already get the sense that this is going to be an exciting basketball game.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to really worry about the shot clock in this game, are we?
Well, we didn't worry about it much yesterday with Donda. I think just they're one of those teams that most of their shots happen in that first 10 seconds.
And that's slow for them, 10 seconds sometimes. Blanchett's first one is off the mark. He'll get another. And he splits the pair for his first point. 6-4 now, Donda with the lead. A little pressure in the backcourt. Farrell picks up Taylor. Dillingham, Warren on him. Warren forces him all the way to the baseline, into the corner to Cruz. Howard looking for some seam, finds Bodrick. Back to Dillingham, 3-ball, got it! Rob Dillingham buries one from downtown. 7 points now for Dillingham.
And he's been patient, right? Like, he didn't force it. That's the exact same spot he was in prior to him giving it up. He gave it up, got it back.
Off the steal, Bodrick gets it ahead. Up to Dillingham, tries to force it up and wedges one on the layup attempt. So turnover one end, and this one will go right back off the jump ball to Keystone. That's about the only way you keep him from scoring. The rim stops him. Nine to 4, Donda with the early lead. As substitutions into the game, Thomas Tutt is now in for the Kings. Warren, right side, and wow, J.J. Taylor was just standing there waiting for it. Fortunately, he couldn't corral it.
Well, that's one of the things.
That was almost made for him.
Yeah. One of the things Donda does very, very well is play the passing lanes, utilize their length and size, and they like to get into transition. So you have to be very careful with those passes. You can't just lob it over.
Maybe ball fake or bounce passes. Darnell, he wants to attack the rim. Got in amongst the trees, the ball knocked out of bounds. Going to go off of Donda as he took it right at Taylor and White. That's a tough sledding there.
Darnell's a football player. He's not scared of anything or anybody. The kid's going to be headed to Akron to play football in the fall. But the way he's looking out here, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Gross said, hey, can I borrow him during the winter?
Shot off the mark. Darnell runs down the rebound. Back to Warren. He's going to go in, kick it into the corner. Tutt, skip past, Blanchett, spin into the baseline, finds Darnell, back into the corner. Warren, ball just volleyball around, a little helter-skelter pace right now. Farrell all the way to the hoop, can't finish, but he's going to get a pair of freebies as he took one hard.
Here we're going to get another look at it. Just attacking down the lane. He had the presence of mind to see where Brandon White was and contort his body around him. Just wasn't able to finish off the glass.
What's most impressive about a lot of these players is they have the ability to hold the ball so far away from the defender that the defender has no choice but to foul him on that play. They can't block the shot, and if they make any contact, it's going to be a foul. Farrell's first one, no good. 2:25 to go, first quarter. He makes it now 9-5, Donda, as he splits the pair. 2 for 4 are the Kings from the line so far in the game. Rob Dillingham gets it to Alfino, who just checks into the game. Bryce Alfino into Cruz.
Remember yesterday when he checked in, he immediately hit the three.
Cruz's shot off the mark. Farrell with a rebound, looking to run. Nobody picks him up. Farrell all the way down, lays it off. No. Darnell's there for the follow.
Wow.
Impressive running the floor and impressive crashing the glass. Double team comes and we got a whistle and a foul as Cruz. He was just completely blanketed by Blanchett and Darnell and took an unfortunate smack to the face. Cruz is going to have to check out as Bodrick will check back in. As Bryce Alfino will trigger the inbound. Tutt along with Darnell, Mozenga, Farrell, and Warren on the floor for the Kings. White, Bodrick, Taylor, Dillingham. And that's White with a shot going away. No, Farrell, rebound, up ahead, Warren behind everybody, lays it back, and Farrell with the finish. But Taylor got a piece of him, and there is the creativity of Dellquan Warren. You thought he's going to go for a layup and lays it back, and Farrell almost brought the house down.
Well, here we're going to get another look at it. It's not just the creativity, it's the unselfishness. He's able to share the ball. He saw he had a player trailing. The rest of the defense for Donda hadn't quite made it back, and he wisely dropped it off for his defender. This is bigger than these 2 points. You want to get players like J.J. Taylor in early foul trouble. We haven't even finished the first quarter yet.
Rubber rim on that one as Farrell gets it to go.
And now J.J. is going to have to take a seat.
He sits down, and Jalen Hooks, 6'7" junior, will check in. As both of them are good. 3 of 4 from the line so far as Farrell. And we are tied at 9 with 1:25 to go, first quarter. Dillingham, trap comes at him. His pass knocked away, stolen by Darnell. Good defense by the Kings. Warren. Look for a screen. Bounce pass, looking for Farrell on the baseline. He recovers. steps into the corner, fires a three off the iron, no. Darnell muscles away the rebound. Warren, three, got it! Dellquan Warren splashes his second three and a timeout with 52 seconds to go. First quarter, 12-9, Keystone leads.
Dellquan's feeling it. You know, this is home for him. This is the home crowd. He's putting on a show. Beautiful shot there. He didn't hesitate. As soon as it touched his hands, he let it go, and then he made sure the crowd knew, hey, I'm with you guys. This is all about Erie here tonight.
And it's all about Marquell Darnell.
His energy, for sure.
Yes, he brings the intangibles along, and with his energy, with his size, it's almost unfair. How can you keep up with somebody that big with a motor like that? Absolutely.
I'd be shocked if Gross wasn't trying to lend him during basketball season. I would be extremely shocked. I mean, he's an exceptional football player, but I mean, he reminds me of so many other guys that have played football at a high level that also double as basketball players, like Antonio Gates.
That was the first person I thought of. When you were just about to bring him up, I was going to throw Gates out there, but I'm like, I think I know where you're going with this.
I'm a Detroit guy, so you know I have to.
Or Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, every broadcast I have to try and sprinkle in a Detroit reference, so I win Antonio over Tony there.
But a lot of people don't know that those guys, they play college basketball, but then they excel in the NFL, you know, which is, if you think about it, what are they doing here? But they're playing big and they're grabbing rebounds, same as a tight end. You're using your body and using your hands to grab the ball.
Well, to me, tight ends that come from basketball are like pitchers from the north. Their arms don't have the same amount of wear and tear on them, which is why they're drafted and recruited a lot earlier. So football players that have spent their whole lives playing basketball, they haven't had the same wear and tear. They haven't taken as many hits. So I think that that's another reason why you'll see NFL scouts watching some of those bigs.
Is that why they say LeBron could probably play football right now?
Absolutely.
A near steal, but Dillingham just throws up a circus shot, trying to draw contact, no whistle. And Mosenga pulls away the loose ball. Keystone with a 3-point lead, 30 seconds to go, first quarter. Warren looking for a screen from Darnell, gets it. Gets out left of the lane, bounce pass. Mosenga, three ball, no, short. There's Darnell again on the offensive glass, still fighting for it. And Bodrick clears it away for Donda. Final 12 seconds, into the corner. Alfino, three ball, splash!
That's what he does.
Bryce Alfino with the three, final seconds. Warren, he's gonna try and get one up. And no contact, says the official. No basket either, and we are done with 1 quarter of play. Nothing decided. After one, it is Donda 12, Keystone 12.
This is what everybody came for. You know, they want to see a game. They want to see back and forth matchups. They want to see offensive onslaught. They want to see above the rim plays. That's what this crowd is here for, and I love the fact that the referees are allowing them to play. They haven't injected or inserted themselves into the game as of yet. Things have been going well. Dellquan Warren with a couple big threes. Robert Dillingham, a couple shots, you know, ill-advised, but he's doing Robert Dillingham things and scoring off the glass, you know, getting down into the paint, doing whatever it is he wants to do. I'm excited for the remainder of this game.
How much is Warren making Dillingham work on the offensive end?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed earlier that there's a couple possessions where Dillingham was not guarding Dellquan as he came across the timeline, which I think is important. And the reason why that's important, when you have a Jahki Howard on Dellquan Warren, the size and the strength, it forces him to work a little bit harder, and it saves Dillingham's legs for the offensive end of the floor. I think that there's other people that you can put on Dellquan, and then you can move Dillingham onto some other guys so that he has more freedom to flow on the offensive end. Not saying he can't guard. Both of those guys, I'd love to see a head-to-head matchup of them guarding each other 94 feet. But, you know, if I'm playing gamesmanship and I'm coaching that squad, I want my scorer, I want his legs as fresh as possible. I don't want him chasing around Dellquan Warren all night long.
You want to save Rob.
Yeah.
But at the other side, Dellquan is really making Rob work.
Yeah, but he has
Rob
to.
the ball.
He has to. You know, no disrespect to this Keystone Academy roster. Outside of him, I don't know who can apply that same amount of ball pressure to a Rob Dillingham.
So Howard, Alfino, Cruz, Bodrick, and Hooks on the floor for Donda. They have the ball to start the second quarter, moving from left to right in their black jerseys with gray numerals. Cruz, he gets hit on the arm as Warren reached in. You got him there. Warren, Farrell, Mosenga, Blanchett, along with Darnell on the floor for Keystone. Second team foul. That was the first on Warren.
Some people will get this. Zion has a very Jersey City attitude, and I love it. If you've never been there, don't know anybody from there, you're not going to understand what I mean by that. But he just has it. You look at him, you see Jersey City as he hoops. It's interesting.
Is it swag?
I think it's a level above swag. He just
a level above swag. I don't know what exactly that is.
Yeah,
loose ball, volleyball around. Hooks controls, gets it to Howard.
Me either, but it's one of those situations when you know, you know.
Unfortunately, that's going to not count the basket violation. We called a travel against Donda.
One step too many.
Would that count in the NBA?
No.
Warren skips it to Mosenga. Skips all the way back to Warren. Looking for a screen from Darnell. Blanchett. Warren up and under. His skip pass deflected, and it's going to stay with Keystone.
When I think that's the major benefit that Donda has on the defensive end is the ability to switch everybody. You know, they don't have anybody on the floor that they look at as a defensive liability with this lineup.
Warren takes it all the way in behind the back, looking for Mosenga, and that's the second near highlight reel pass, but just off the mark again. He's trying. It's going to get one of these times.
Yep, that's what I call KYP, know your personnel. If that was Darnell down there, I can understand it a little bit more. But we had a couple of those misfires early in the game yesterday. Dellquan is doing everything he can. He's a magician with the rock, and sometimes when your teammates just aren't ready for it, it's not the right pass.
3 ball straight away again by Bryce Alfino. His second triple of the game. 6 points now and a 3-point lead for Donda.
Yeah, that's what Alfino does.
He's got such a smooth stroke. Blanchett back up top. Farrell gets denied by Bodrick and forced back out. Farrell, jump stop. Pulls up from 10, off the iron, no. Mosenga battling for the rebound. And it goes out of bounds. Which way are we going? We're going to stay with Keystone.
Both these teams are aggressively attacking the offensive glass, which I love to see. Nobody's giving up on anything. Every ball that touches that rim is a 50-50 ball. It's no guaranteed rebound or guaranteed head in the opposite direction.
Yeah, there's nothing going to be easy in this game. Mosenga picks up his dribble, in trouble. Long skip pass, finds Blanchett. Wide open 3, off the iron, no. Howard picks up the loose ball. Jahki Howard racing ahead. Nice job by Warren to get in the way and force it out of bounds as Donda had numbers.
Sometimes it's not about slowing or stopping them. It's just slowing them down a little bit.
Zebras have a little consult. And they're going to give the ball to Keystone. Interesting. Donda can't believe this. Coach Robinson wants to know what's going on. He thought for sure that Warren knocked it out of bounds, but nope. Keystone ball. Keystone trails by 3 with it. Opening minute, second quarter. Warren just fires one. That was near 100-mile-an-hour pass through everybody out of bounds into the Donda bench. Is it a case he's trying to do too much, maybe?
No, that was one of those ones where, sometimes you're watching an NFL game and you see a quarterback throw an interception and you say, what was he looking at? Where was he throwing it to? He was throwing it to where the man was supposed to be, and his guy just didn't end up where the play was designed for him to be at.
Cruz with a miss, Mosenga with a rebound. Keystone on the offense. Mosenga looking for Darnell down low. Bodrick denied, but Mosenga recovers. And a nice steal by Hooks. Steps in. Has Howard behind him, but Hooks goes behind the back. And a nice little under. Flip it up and in by Jalen Hooks. And we got a timeout with 5:09 to go in the half. 17-12, Donda.
Donda's going on a run here. You know, they finished that first quarter 12-12. Here we're going to get another look at Alfino coming off the screen. He knew as soon as he touched that ball coming off that curl, it was going to be an opportunity to knock down the three. And then here, attacking downhill, Jalen Hook showing why he's one of the best young players in the country.
Behind the back. That's impressive. Behind the back, recollect. I thought he was going to go for the jam.
Me too. Me too.
I was hoping for all the fans.
If he would have done that, it might have brought this entire crowd, even though they're pro Keystone, it would have brought them to their feet.
You would have definitely got oohs and ahs everywhere. Thanks again for joining us here on the Cyber Athletics Invitational. Royal Rumble from Laura Gunshin Gymnasium. Cyber Athletics, the smart behind the sweat. I'm Kyle Goodwin, joined by Justin Brantley and Marcus and Lisa Burnett, our executive producers, bringing you all the pictures here on SUVtv. The marquee matchup that everybody's been waiting for all weekend, Donda against Keystone. The game started off kind of a blaze, both teams running around and kind of grinded down the defenses, maybe getting a little bit more in sync, getting their feet, in front of them, and slowed the game down. But Donda with a 5-point lead here as they run off 5 straight to start the second.
Standing room only.
So after the timeout, it'll be Hooks, Howard, Dillingham, Alfino, and Bodrick on the floor for Donda. Blanchett, Mosenga, Farrell, Warren, and Marquell Darnell on the floor for Keystone. Kings ball. And Warren will bring it into the front court. Warren up top to Farrell. Farrell gets met and forced back by Hooks. Farrell with no space.
Good switching and defensive rotations here from Donda.
Warren behind the back again, off the mark. We got a substitution. Thomas Tuck going to check back in. Those are impressive plays, but it just seems like they're not on the same page.
Yep.
Warren's going to have a seat. This is what we talked about the other day. When he goes out, what happens to their offense? So this will be interesting the next few minutes.
Coach Shannon Pulliam having a conversation with him, just asking him to slow it down a little bit.
So Dillingham, little screen roll, finds Hooks, skip, Alfino, 3-ball, front iron no, Skies for the rebound.
But that's the shot they wanted. They drew it up and got it and ran perfectly.
5-point deficit for Keystone with the ball. Blanchett trying to get by Howard into the lane. Howard knocks it away, but he's going to get whistled for a foul.
I thought he got away with a step prior to the foul there. Here we're going to get another look at it. Well, unfortunately, the referee blocked our view here. We're going to get another angle.
All depends on what side you're rooting for, right?
I'm impartial. I'm rooting for a good basketball game.
So that's why you're on the fence with that one.
Yeah. I'm rooting for a good basketball game. There's multiple players on both sides that I have personal relationships with and have been watching and rooting for and cheering for years. So, yeah, no, I'm very impartial.
Blanchett hits both. 3 for 4 from the line in the game now for the sophomore. And it's back to a 3-point Donda lead. Approaching the midway point here, second quarter. Dillingham gets it to Bodrick. Skips back to Dillingham. Kings look like they want to set up a trapping defense. Skip into the corner as Braden Moore checked into the game just now. Back up top, Dillingham, 3, off the mark, no. Skipped all the way back out to Howard. Ball poked away, Dillingham recovers. Into the corner, Bodrick, 3, got it. Marion Bodrick splashes down a 3 and extends the lead back up to 20-14, Donda.
And when he's hitting threes, you could be in trouble.
As Warren is back into the game. His shot off the mark, no. Dillingham with a rebound, look to race ahead. Rob Dillingham in another gear. Comes back out, lays it off to Hooks. Hooks, dump to Howard. Howard fires a right wing 3. Off the iron, no. Blanchett, the rebound for Keystone. Warren up ahead. Warren's got nobody with him. Surveys the court. Finds Mosenga. Skip to Blanchett. Right wing 3. Back iron, no. Loose ball tipped back out by Tut. Blanchett finds Marquell Darnell. His hook shot off the mark, no. Blanchett tries to keep it alive. And Bodrick finally gets it up ahead to Dillingham. All the way to the hole, lays it behind him. Howard shot, no. Foul on Tut, though, but Rob Dillingham showing a little razzle-dazzle on that one instead of laying it in, going behind the back.
Yeah, razzle-dazzle's his middle name. He understood that, hey, there's a shot blocker here. I don't have the step advantage, so it's a good chance that it's going to get blocked. At least if I drop it off, either he's going to get the bucket or the foul. Great heads-up play.
Howard's first free throw is pure. His substitution in the game, Steven Solano, 6'11" sophomore, will check in for Donda.
Donda's used a lot more of their bench so far than Keystone has.
Both free throws good from Howard. Lead back up to 7, 21-14. Donda leads, 2:45 to go in the half. Warren being hounded by Howard, and Howard gets his hands on it. Ball knocked out of bounds into the Donda bench, and they slapped it back real quick. J.J. Taylor did, just to almost make it look like it never went out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get a tech there.
It hit him out of bounds. He was just trying to assist his teammate. The refs give him a little smile. Farrell back into the game for Keystone. Mosenga ends it to Farrell. His baseline jumper, nice rainbow goes in for Jan Farrell. Farrell now 5 points in the game. The lead cut back down to 6. Down to 22-16. Dillingham trying to shake Warren, can't do it. Bodrick back to Dillingham, and Warren's all over him. Howard, right of the lane, kicks it back. Bodrick, 3. Back iron, no. Ball volleyballed around, and Farrell controls for Keystone. Warren racing ahead. Mosenga gives it back to Warren, finds Farrell, 3. Splash! Jan Farrell's first 3 of the game. Now 8 points for the senior. 3-point Donda lead. Final 90 seconds. Moore down to Solano. Tries to muscle it up against Marquell. Darnell draws the contact. And Steven Solano is going to get a pair of free throws.
Here we're going to get another look. Jan Farrell able to knock down the outside shot. He's a solid shooter, and once he sees the ball go through the net a time or two, he can really, really catch fire.
Solano's first free throw is good. The 6'11" sophomore gets his first points. Brian Blanchett checks back in for the Kings. Zion Cruz, along with Brandon White, back in for Donda. We haven't seen much of Brandon White so far this game. He's been playing in spurts.
Yeah, it's a different. When they went with that guard-heavy lineup, I knew that he wouldn't have a whole lot of an impact in this game. He's one of those true bigs. Yeah, he can play in this flow, but that's just not his where he shines the brightest.
Warren, step back jumper, no. Loose ball, tipped all the way back out. Farrell controls, left wing 3, off the iron, no. Cruz skies for the rebound and looking to push. Zion Cruz all the way ahead. Warren got his hands in it, got a steal. Dellquan Warren behind the back, still loose. Fires one, oh my, look out everybody. Heads up. That ball's coming flying at you in the crowd. Gonna go back to Donda. I can't believe he's not a major league pitcher as fast as he throws the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's so crafty, and he saw it just a little too fast, a little too hard. But he's still a sophomore, so as he gets a little bit older, those plays will be a little bit, his basketball IQ is ever evolving. I really like where he's at right now, but he's only going to get better.
Braden Moore splashes a 3 for Donda and extends the lead up to 7. Final 30 seconds. Warren dribbles into the corner. Bounce down low to Mosenga on the block. wants to take it all the way to the hole, can't finish. Howard with a rebound. Up ahead to Cruz. Final 10 seconds. Dillingham looking for a screen. Takes it into the lane, all the way to the hoop, gets hacked. And Rob Dillingham gonna get a couple freebies at the stripe with 4 seconds to go.
And he hasn't scored here in this second period, so it's good to see him make his impression felt.
Yeah, Donda scored 14 here in the quarter, and this is his first chance to get any on the board. First one up and good by the 6'2" junior. Thomas Tutt back into the game for Keystone. Final 4 seconds. The inbound, it's off the mark. Howard picks up the loose ball and hits it at the buzzer for a 3. Jahki Howard putting a little dagger right before halftime. Extend the Donda lead to 30-19.
You can't have miscues like that. Wow, beautiful shot there from Jahki Howard. Knew he didn't have much time, pulled up, knocked it down, perfect shot.
Actually, it is 31-19 Donda at halftime here from the Cyber Athletics Invitational Royal Rumble from Laura Gunshin Gymnasium. Cyber Athletics, the smart behind the sweat. And we were tied after 1. And then a big run here in the second by Donda to get them the 12-point lead at half.
Yeah, I'll tell you the difference right now is the bench. Donda is playing with a lot more depth. They have a lot more guys coming on, like here, Braden Moore knocking down the 3. You have Steven Solano, he's came in and giving you a point. Jalen Hooks has 2. Bryce Alfino has 6. You know, add in Zion Cruz, who hasn't really made an impact in the game, but he came off the bench. But you're talking about right there, 9, 11 bench or 12 bench points. 12 bench points to 0. It's tough to beat.
That's the difference in the game.
Yep.
Right there. We're at halftime here of game 2, the marquee game of the weekend between Donda and Keystone. Keystone is trailing 31-19. Justin and I are going to step aside for halftime. We'll be back for second half action on SUVtv after this. Welcome back to second half action from the Cyber Athletics Invitational Royal Rumble. Laura Gunshin Gymnasium, Cyber Athletics, the smart behind the sweat here on SUVtv. Hello again, everyone. I'm Kyle Goodwin, joined by my broadcast partner, Justin Brantley, the National Recruiting Director for SUVtv. And special thanks again to our executive producers, Marcus and Lisa Burnett, for all the producing and camera work. Justin, first half, very equal game in the first quarter. Second quarter, big difference.
Yep, it's the bench. You know, that's one of the things when you see a team like Donda that's extremely deep, and they really can go 10 deep. You know, when you see Steven Solano stepping in and bringing an impact, when you see Bryce Alfino coming in, knocking down 3s, you know, everybody on this roster, everybody that's getting playing time and getting an opportunity is bringing it to the table. So Keystone Academy is going to need, number 1, some help from the bench, and number 2, Dellquan Warren is going to have to start to, you know, be a little bit more aggressive offensively. I like what Jan Farrell has done, but you know, somehow, you're going to need a 3rd and a 4th score if you're going to compete with Donda Academy here tonight.
It's a case of 4 players have scored for Keystone, 8 players have scored for Donda.
Absolutely.
And the highest scorer is 8 points on either side. Rob Dillingham for Donda, 8 points for Jan Farrell. Farrell will start along with Warren, Darnell, Blanchett, and Mosenga for Keystone, moving from left to right in their white jerseys with purple trim and numerals. Farrell controls.
The game within the game. Zion Cruz guarding Jan Farrell, both of them PSA Cardinals, 17U. Played for Munch Williams.
Mosenga with a miss. J.J. Taylor clears the rebound. He's on the court with Howard, Cruz, Bodrick, and Howard goes all the way in, and oh my, Marquell Darnell says, not in my house. J.J. Taylor got denied at the rim.
Yeah, again, and I'm going to sound like a broken record. If Gross is not at home watching this film saying, how do I figure out a way to get that man onto the court, I'm going to text him myself and say, hey, you got to figure it out.
Dillingham, he throws a lob down low for Howard. He tries to go up and under and called for a travel. It's Cruz, Howard, Dillingham, Bodrick, and Taylor on the floor for Donda in their black jerseys with gray numerals.
Speaking of college coaches, last night we had Coach Calipari here from University of Kentucky. Tonight we have Tony Stubblefield, head coach from DePaul. He's been here all night along with Charles Thomas, assistant coach from Duquesne. So, this event definitely bringing out some high-level coaches looking for talent.
Nice defense by Cruz on that one. Blocked away Farrell's attempt, and Zion Cruz will bring it into the front court. So defense here early for both teams. Dillingham, shake and bake, fires the three, off the mark, no. Mosenga clears the rebound. Pass up ahead, Marquell Darnell gets in and denied by Bodrick. Second opportunity, no. And loose ball, Donda comes away with it. But Farrell gets his hands on it, gets on the floor, trying to keep it alive. Marquell Darnell's got it, scoop up and under, and a spin off the glass by Marquell Darnell.
Beautiful layup. Prior to that, we saw Amarian Bodrick do something that we've gotten really, understanding and accepting of, which is he may not look like it, but he's a rim protector.
What a play there by Darnell, as big as he is, to contort himself like that, get the English. Taylor, left side three, off the mark. Darnell runs down the rebound. Get up to Warren, spins ahead. Zip pass down low for Mosenga. These passes are just a hair off the mark. They're so close.
You know what? I have to disagree with that. On that one, it's almost like a wide receiver. If it touches your hands, you need to catch it. He put him in a position where he could make a positive play. It touched his hands. He's got to catch that ball. I'm not giving that one. Obviously, yes, the turnover will go to Warren in the column there, but I'm not putting that one on him.
Well, it's a case of it's just missing. Something's just off. Either way. Chuck Bailey checks into the game now for Donda, has the ball. Lays it off to Taylor, spins free, gets down into the lane, flips it off the rim, no, follows his own shot. Second opportunity, no. Darnell with a rebound. Loose ball picked up by Mosenga. Mosenga all the way down. Euros, tries to draw some contact. Keystone wanted a foul. Donda wanted a turnover, and we're going to have Keystone ball on the baseline.
Yeah, the referees are not going to reward you when you avoid the contact, and that's what happened there. The Euro step, they're not going to reward that, and he kind of threw it up there. I can see where the contact took place. Coach Shannon Pulliam jumped out of his seat, but I understand why that call wasn't made. Warren
leaves it behind him for Darnell. Back to Warren. Low shot clock. Bodrick blocked it, and out of bounds. We're going to go over to Donda. Thomas Tutt checks into the game for Keystone. And Jahki Howard checks back in for Donda.
Amarian Bodrick averages 3 to 4 blocks per game. You look at him, you see a wing, but the way that he protects the rim, the way he gets off of his feet so quickly, I've been impressed watching him do that.
Farrell knocks it away from Taylor. Warren off to the races behind the back. Finds Blanchett, corner three, halfway down, spins out. And the ball volleyballed out of bounds, going to stay with Keystone on the baseline. Blanchett had a good look, just couldn't get it to drop. We're 3 minutes into the third quarter here and only had 2 points scored. The only 2 scored by Keystone.
You can't ask for a better look at the basket than that.
Farrell, he's going to attack the rim, get harmed, off the glass, in and one. The strength of Farrell to take the contact and be able to finish.
There you go. Beautiful job to stay with the play, finish it off the glass. Now he's going to get an opportunity for the three-point play.
Farrell, the first player in double digits in the game now with 10. Make that 11. First 5 points of the quarter, all scored by Keystone. Dillingham, dribbling on the right side, trying to find some space. Back and forth around Farrell. High off the glass, can't finish. Loose ball, Bodrick runs it down, back to Dillingham. He gets under the rim, down the baseline, gets it up on the rim and in. How did that go in? And Dillingham will get a three-point opportunity.
You know how that went in. That's Robert Dillingham. You better put some respect on his name.
He was out of bounds under the basket.
Listen.
I mean, that one almost defies the laws of gravity.
He makes the blind walk in the blind see in the paralyzed walk. Robert Dillingham is a magician. He does it all.
And he now has 11 points to lead Donda on that three-point play.
He might have been out there cooking the popcorn at halftime.
I wouldn't doubt it. Making the hot dogs, the nachos, everything. Zion Cruz back into the game for Donda. Warren trying to get loose. Taylor booked it away. Pass up ahead. Dillingham lays it off. Taylor, he gets smacked. And J.J. Taylor is going to go to the line.
Yeah, I think now's the time to call a timeout if you're Shannon Pulliam and Keystone Academy. You don't want to see Donda get out and running in transition and run you out of your gym here at home.
Chuck Bailey, the third, 6'3" junior, also into the game for Donda. Taylor, the 6'7" junior, gets a pair. First one rattles out, no good. Substitution as Darnell will have a seat. Mosenga back in for Keystone.
And he can't sit long.
Yeah, his motor just got to get going. And that one spins all the way around the rim and then falls out. So empty trip for Taylor. Midway point, third quarter. 10-point lead for Donda. Keystone with the ball. Farrell, he's going to fire a three. Off the iron, no. Taylor skies for the rebound. Taylor, deep pass all the way up ahead. Little too tall, out of bounds. Went over Bailey's head. It'll be a turnover. Back to Keystone. And substitution, Andrea Milvanovic, the 6'4" senior, will come into the game.
And he made a couple big plays yesterday when he came in.
Yeah, we mentioned him as a sniper, and he took the ball to the basket. Threw us off. Warren going to go all the way down. He attacks the lane, draws the contact, and Dellquan Warren will get some free throws.
And you know what? I think that's what you're going to need from Dellquan. I would have liked to see that from him. I talked about him getting aggressive. He's getting downhill and looking to pass, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you want your point guard to be the driver of the bus. You want him to facilitate. But in a situation like this where points are at a premium, get downhill, get to the basket, force them to foul you, put you on the free throw line, start to get into a rhythm. So I'm liking seeing this trip down the court for him.
Every once in a while, the bus has got to go through the intersection. It doesn't have to stop all the time, right? A nice follow by Farrell off the miss. Can't finish, though. It spins out, but going to stay with Keystone. That's kind of like Dillingham. He sets up his passing with his scoring. Warren's almost the opposite, isn't he?
It's almost as though, you know, somebody's told him, somebody's had that conversation with him, hey, if you're going to play high major, you have to be a facilitator. And now it's like, you know, that balance. You have to find the balance between scoring and facilitating. Right now he's looking pass first, and I think his team really needs him to score.
Milovanovic gets down, gets grabbed at, fights it away, gives it back to Farrell, his three, in and out. Mosenga, an offensive board, muscles it back up, can't finish, but draws a foul. That's one thing Keystone's doing is they're getting contact and they're getting to the line.
Yep. The three ball has not been falling. You know, they just haven't been able to get it going. You have to shoot that when you're that open. There's no other option. But they just need a couple to fall. A couple to fall, and this game will start to shift a little bit.
Mosenga's first free throw off the front iron, no. Omarion Bodrick looked like he wanted to check in, but then he went back and sat down. So now Mosenga will get a second free throw.
3 of 15 from the three-point line for Keystone.
Splits the pair with Mosenga. He's in the scorebook now with his first point. And the deficit back into single digits. 9. Donda leads it now. Double team comes. Pass up ahead to Cruz. Cruz all the way to the hoop. Lays it up, in, and the harm. Zion Cruz just stepped on the gas and would not stop until he got to the hoop.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I was talking about at halftime. I was having a conversation with Coach Tony Stubblefield, and I said, at a 31-19 ball game, and Zion Cruz hasn't scored yet, hasn't gotten going, you kind of are concerned if you're on the other end, because it's only a matter of time before Zion finds his way.
That free throw was no good. The lead back up to 10 now. Inside 3 minutes to go, third quarter. 36-26, Donda with the lead. Warren shaking and baking, lays it back. Mosenga, 3-ball, off the mark. Backside rebound by Jahki Howard. Rob Dillingham. They're kind of a quiet game, even though he has 11 points. Gets all the way down to the lane, and he wants to shut me up and spin it up and in.
My goodness.
He's like, quiet game this. Nice deuce for Robert Dillingham. I will never speak ill of him again. Good look down low. Unfortunately, though, Milovanovic can't finish, and Cruz is off to the races. His pass up ahead, knocked away by Warren, out of the bounds on the baseline. Stay with Donda. I think I've spoke ill of him twice, and he made a great play afterwards each time.
Here we see it. We talk about knowing your personnel. The other thing is knowing who's on you. He looked up and said, hey, I know this young man doesn't have the lateral agility. I'm sorry. I hope his parents don't reach out to me. But he knew. He looked up there, looked in his eyes, said barbecue chicken, crossed him over, got to the basket.
I love the barbecue chicken reference. But he went to his left with his right hand up and under. Yeah. That's the crazy thing. Turnover goes back to Keystone. Zip pass up ahead. Tut behind everybody. Gets into the block. Picks up his dribble. Throws it off the rim. No, but a nice follow by Prince Mosenga with authority. Inside 2 minutes now. Donda by 10. Bailey. He gets all the way down and hammers it.
Wow.
Chuck Bailey. Warren finds Farrell. Nice look and a nice lay-in by Farrell. And the pace has just ramped up in the last few seconds.
Chuck Bailey with that monster jam.
Woke up the crowd. Everybody was kind of sitting on their hands there for a little bit.
Woke him up too. He's calling for it. He wants the ball.
Cruz. Tough play. Loses it. Pass up ahead. Looking for Warren behind the back. And Tut lays it up and in. A nice behind the back pass by Dellquan Warren. Final minute, third quarter. Donda by 8. We got a whistle because we got some moisture on the court.
Here we get another look at Chuck Bailey coming down the lane. Crossover drive through the lane. Beautiful jam there from him. He flexes at the camera.
These guys aren't shy, are they?
Not at all.
As the great Fred McLeod used to say for the Cavs broadcast team, right down Euclid. He would say that a lot for LeBron usually. As substitutions into the game, Omarion Bodrick back in, along with Bryce Alfino. In this final 61 seconds of the third quarter. Dillingham will bring it up, Warren on him. Dillingham trying to shake free. Good defense by Warren to force him back out. And Warren pokes it away and gets the steal. Pass up ahead, Dellquan Warren! Wham! I think the home faithful likes that one.
Yeah.
Keystone cuts it to a 6-point Donda lead with 37 seconds to go in the quarter. Dillingham tries to spin free into the corner. Alfino. 18 on the shot clock. Pass to Bailey. Gets it back from Bodrick. Bailey now floater in the lane. Halfway down and out. Farrell with the rebound. 15 seconds to go. Pass up ahead to Warren. Behind his back. Tut! Can't finish. Mosenga's there to finish it up and clean it in. And we got got a whistle and a foul as well. 8 seconds to go in the quarter. And Prince Mosenga is going to go for the traditional three-point play. Wow, the energy in this gym just blew the roof off.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, the right play from Dellquan to leave it for the cutter. They've got to finish those.
Got to give credit to Mosenga, though, to be the third man up, you know, after Tut couldn't finish. O'Dane Beckford, a 6'3" senior, checks into the game for Keystone. As Mosenga will try and finish the three-point play. He gets it to rattle in. Final 5 seconds. Pass up ahead, Hooks. He's gonna fire one, contested by Farrell. Blanchett from midcourt, just off the mark, and we are done with 3/4 of play. All the momentum on the host side as it is Donda 40, Keystone 37, and a big race at the end for the Kings.
Yeah, that was Keystone's highest scoring quarter thus far.
Outscored them 18-9 in that quarter.
Setting us up for, I don't want to say a fourth and final, but a beautiful ending here.
Well, it was almost like the beginning of that quarter was like church. Everyone was just kind of sitting around listening to a sermon, and then before you know it, Dellquan Warren got loose. Bailey came back, answered back with a big hammer, and then everybody's like, oh, wait a minute, we're supposed to get up and cheer. And that's exactly what they've been doing for the last few minutes of this quarter, and only a three-point game going into the fourth. That's what everybody wants.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you want to look at it, Rob Dillingham, he's been kind of quiet, especially for Rob Dillingham. He's got 13 points, but Warren has really been making him work.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Dellquan Warren's been playing exceptional defense, and a lot of times, you know, that's how you slow down a prolific scorer like Robert Dillingham. What we didn't see in that quarter, obviously we saw the big dunk from Chuck Bailey, but we didn't see the same level of bench scoring in that third quarter from Donda that we had seen prior. This fourth quarter is going to come down to put the ball in the hands of your horses and get out the way. I expect to see heavy doses of Dillingham and Zion Cruz on one end, and on the other end I expect to see heavy doses of Dellquan and Jan Farrell.
How about some screen rolls, too? You think you'd almost want to put those guards in that kind of position, wouldn't you? Especially with their facilitating ability?
Yeah, on both sides.
It's going to get loud in here in a second. Donda in the black unis with the ball with a three-point lead to start the fourth. Dillingham, Taylor, Alfino, and Alfino's going to fire a three right off the rip, and he will miss. Mosenga, Blanchett, Warren, Tut, and Farrell on the floor for Keystone. Tut controls. He pulls up from baseline jumper. No, off the mark. Ball tipped back out to Warren. Dellquan Warren looking for somebody. He's going to fire a deep three. Splash! Tied at 40 on the three by Dellquan Warren.
Wow, big time shot there. Donda going to a zone, and he took advantage.
Howard picks up his dribbles, pass down low, knocked away by Tut. Farrell, his pass ahead, stolen back by Alfino. Into the corner, Dillingham, three ball. Off the rim, no. Tut muscles away the rebound for Keystone. Warren will spin forward. Races up, nobody there. Kicks back out, Mosenga, three, got it! Keystone heating up from deep. Pair of threes to start the fourth, and a three-point Keystone lead.
The home crowd's loving this.
Dillingham being hand-checked by Farrell. Oh, wow, he finally got the call. And a little bit of pleasantries and unpleasantries being shared by both teams. Not happy with that, but just exchanging recipes, you know, for dinner tomorrow night. Zebra's going to talk about it.
Coach Shannon Pulliam came all the way to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think the referee started to walk to the scorer's table to give the foul originally, and they didn't look at the aftermath. As they're going to talk about it, we might potentially have at least one technical, if not multiple technical fouls here.
Wow.
Give Keystone a lot of credit. They came out fired up here in more ways than one in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you want to see a finish to this game that doesn't include anybody being ejected. I love what's happening here. I want the refs to go talk to each bench, tell everybody, like, hey, let's calm down. It's been a great game of basketball. Let's finish it up. Beautiful. The three-pointer, the driving kick. Dellquan's feeling it.
And Prince buried that second three. First one by Dellquan. So a quick 6 points and a 3-point Keystone lead here in the nightcap of the Cyber Athletics Invitational Royal Rumble. And we had a little bit of a rumble on that last play after the fact. Zebra's still talking about it. They're talking it over with head coach Frank Robinson of Donda right now, and now Coach Pulliam joins in. I think they're going to say, hey, guys, let's shake hands. Let's be friends. Let's play tight, but be fair. I don't know if either coach is happy with what they just heard. Maybe the refs are saying no harm, no foul.
So, my take on this, the refs just did what Donda needed them to do, which was take the air out of that drive, that run that Keystone was on. Keystone was on a run. Now, that foul, they're going to head to the free throw line, shooting a technical free throw.
Well, this could be for the personal foul. There is definitely a technical coming up. This is for the personal for Dillingham. He got fouled on that play. And he got 1 of 2. So let's see what we're going to do here. It didn't look like Donda was very happy, so there might be a technical against Donda. It hasn't been reported yet. And Brian Blanchard going to step to the line. First one up and good. Blanchard, the 6-foot sophomore, now 4 points in the game. Hits them both.
5 of 6 from the free throw line.
Didn't quite hear who they gave it to. But a 4-point Keystone lead with the ball. 6.5 to go. Farrell gets to the elbow. His shot blocked by Bodrick. And loose ball picked up. Dillingham racing ahead. His pass up ahead. Warren gets in there and steals it. Blanchett all the way up ahead. Tutt behind everyone. Blocked behind by Bodrick, but he's going to be called for a foul. Thomas Tutt crumbles down to the floor, but he's going to go to the line for a pair of free throws. Great hustle by Moran Bodrick.
Told you, Bodrick's good for 3-4 blocks a game. Now, obviously picked up the foul on that one, but his effort and intensity on the defensive end is just, I really am impressed by what he brings to this team.
There are no easy ones, especially now in the fourth quarter.
No.
Tutt's first free throw off the back iron.
So automatically it makes that foul worth it.
Marquell Darnell waiting to check in as Brandon White, the 6'10 junior, back in for Donda. Empty trip. Howard pulls away the rebound. Donda down 4 with the ball.
Makes the foul worth it.
Pass up ahead. Alfino wide open in the corner. his three off the mark. Ball volleyball back out. Howard recovers, lays it up, can't finish, but he's going to go to the stripe. It just seems that Jahki Howard is all over the rebounds.
You ain't using it on the other team.
Crowd is not happy with the officiating, which I think is par for the course.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Maybe after the game, after they won, and they'll say good game, ref?
No, they still won't.
No? Now, this is something both teams are struggling with. They're at the line.
Yep.
So Darnell will check back into the game. Tut will have a seat. 6:06 to go, fourth quarter. 45-41. Keystone leads. Howard will get another. He splits the pair. That one was pure. Zion Cruz will check in. Alfino will have a seat.
We have a zone look from Donda. They know Keystone hasn't shot the ball exceptionally well from three, even though they did start off this fourth quarter with 2 back-to-back threes.
Warren, nice pump fake, gets down, kicks it back out. Blanchett, three, off the iron, no. Farrell runs down on another rebound. Corner, Warren will try a three. Splash! And he lets them know it. 4-3 the game by Dellquan. Warren second here in the fourth. Dillingham, left of the lane, spins into the lane. Tough shot, blocked! Out of bounds by Mosinga. And here we go again. He kind of stood over Dillingham, and then Brandon White came in and shoved him away. We got to see what the Zebras are going to do with this one.
Yeah, they call the technical on Brandon White.
Well, but Mosinga, though, standing over him and hovering. That was, by the letter of the law, that was taunting.
Yeah.
But instead, they're just going to give it to White. I mean, he was protecting his teammate. And Blanchett's first technical free throw spins out, no good. So all the momentum on Keystone's side, and these technicals, it just seems like some frustration is setting in with Donda right now.
Yep.
Well, now we're having a summit with plainclothes people and the officials. This is something I've never seen before.
No comment. No comment.
This man must be very important.
Well, no, I mean, the thing that for me, and I understand what they're saying, and it makes sense, they want to make sure the game is controlled. They want to make sure that they're doing the right things. But when the event organizers have that conversation with the refs in a home venue, it gives the perception of what's happening, regardless of what the truth is. Sometimes perception is more important than reality to some people.
And when it seems like there's neutrality.
Yeah, and it is neutral. They've been playing the game, calling the game pretty neutral.
Right, but so, that doesn't seem like
correct.
So after the technical, Keystone will get it. Their biggest lead of the game, 49-42. Warren finds Blanchett, stolen away by Taylor. J.J. Taylor, pass up ahead looking for Cruz. Warren gets back, gets his hands on it, and gets the steal. Dellquan Warren racing ahead. Bounce pass, finds Mosinga. Up, under, can't finish. Second shot, no. Third tip, no. And Marquell Darnell keeps it alive. Blanchett, Farrell, three. Big scramble play by Keystone. Came up empty. Dillingham, he's going to pull up. His shot off the mark, no. Rebound by Blanchett. Whistle and a timeout. Keystone wants to talk about it with 4:36 to go and a 7-point lead. Does the scramble mode, it almost, I think it favors Keystone, doesn't it? A helter-skelter type of game?
Yes and no. I think Keystone has not shot the ball well at all, which in that scramble mode, typically when you see that, it ends up being kicked out to somebody for a 3. And Keystone just hasn't been able to finish that. I think they need to take their time, run the shot clock down, get positive possessions, positive plays, get to the free throw line. That's what's going to be more effective and efficient for them here in this situation. Scramble mode's going to lead to getting Donda out and running, and one big dunk is all they really need to get back into this game. I mean, it's a 7-point ball game. It's 3 possessions. The game's by no means decided at this point. So if I'm Keystone, I want to take my time. I want to utilize the entire shot clock and get a good look at the basket.
The difference in this third quarter has been the 3-point shooting. 3 triples by Keystone. 2 of them by Dellquan Warren.
I was just about to say the difference has been Dellquan Warren, because the 2 triples plus the one that was made that wasn't him, he assisted on it. He drew the defense in and kicked it out. Driving kick is the most fundamental, the most fundamental drill in basketball, and he did a great job collapsing the defense and kicking it out for the open 3.
After the timeout, it'll be Farrell, Mosenga, Darnell, Blanchett, and Warren on the floor for Keystone. Howard, Dillingham, Cruz, Bodrick, and Taylor for Donda. Warren gets down right in the lane, all the way to the hoop, left-hand finish. Oh, but Darnell is there! Marquell Darnell with the 2-handed hammer!
Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness.
And I think he brought the fans onto the court with that one. Unfortunately, it's going to be a technical foul.
Here we can get another look at it. Wow. J.J. Taylor hits the first of the technical free throws.
Was that a pass? Seriously, I think that was a pass.
No, I'm not giving him that one. I love the way Dellquan's playing right now, and I'm giving him a lot of credit for this comeback from Keystone, but that was certainly not a pass.
Taylor hits them both. Just because he was going in for an easy right-handed layup, and he used his left hand underneath, and he shot it so high off the glass. It's almost like he banked it off the glass to the backside to Darnell, who just obliterated the rim. Lead up to 7 again after the 2 technicals by Taylor. 4:16 to go. A very spirited gym here. Dillingham comes off the curl, loses it. Loose ball, Warren's got it. His pass to Darnell, and Keystone keeps it. Warren racing ahead, zip into the corner. Blanchett, he'll bring it back out and reset. Farrell's open in the corner. Bounce down low, Darnell into the lane, back up top. 15 on the shot clock. Warren gets a screen, straightaway 3, off the mark. Darnell runs it down, finds Blanchett. Right side 3, back iron no. Ball tipped out, Howard up ahead. Bodrick ahead of everybody, wham!
And right there, that's how you start a run.
Marion Bodrick and Marquell Darnell. We talked about this last night. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. They were showing a little love chest to chest.
Yeah.
But the spirits are running high at the moment. So with 3:27 to go, there was a whistle to stop play, and Keystone will inbound in the backcourt with a 5-point lead. Warren gets free and races ahead. Lobs it down low. Darnell knocked away. Cruz into the front court. Racing all the way to the hoop. Off the glass. No. Mosenga with the rebound. 3 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. 5-point Keystone lead.
me, Dellquan. Take it down to the hole.
15 on the shot clock. Warren picks up his dribble. Back up top between the circles to Mosenga. A steal and a nice step in by Dillingham. Coast to coast for the jam.
And Dillingham said, I can finish above the rim, around the rim, under the rim, through the rim. It doesn't matter.
Back down to 3, and we got a timeout. Keystone with a 3-point lead with 2:32 to go. And Rob Dillingham hasn't had a chance to do it offensively, and he's getting the offense with his defense.
Yep. First you got Bodrick with the big dunk. Nearly ripped the rim off. Then you have another steal. Dillingham out in the passing lane and finishes above the rim.
That one I noticed, Warren got down low and picked up his dribble, and that kind of just set everything out of sync.
Yeah.
He gave it up, and he couldn't get it back, and that led to the steal by Dillingham and the hoop. Dillingham now with 16 points to lead Donda, leading scorer in the game. 2:32 to go, fourth quarter. Keystone 51, Donda 48. What do you think both coaches are saying in the huddle here? Let's go to Donda first.
You know, Donda is saying, keep going. 2.5 minutes left. We're down by 3. It's a one-possession ball game. We got to finish this. You know, keep your foot on the gas. We've been here before. They believe they can win this ball game. Keystone, Coach Pulliam's telling his guys, hey, one possession at a time. We have the lead. There's no reason to rush. Don't throw the ball away. Take our time. Let's run a set. Let's use the entire shot clock. Let's find a way to get this win here in front of our home crowd.
Ball comes into Warren in the backcourt. The shot clock is not running. Now it's running. It started with 23. Blanchett back to Warren. Looking for a screen. Warren gets it. Left in a lane. All the way to the hoop. Up and under and in. Dellquan Warren.
And that's what I've been wanting to see all night. Him getting low and not looking to pass first. Looking to finish, because he could do that every single time he gets to the basket.
11 second half points. 17 in the game now for Dellquan Warren. 5-point Keystone lead. Under 2 minutes to go. Warren got his hands on the ball, but he also got his hands on Cruz, says the Zebra. Seventh team foul, so it'll be a bonus situation now for Donda.
To the line, 1-1, number 5, Zion
Cruz with the 1-1 will get the bonus. 1:55 to go. And Cruz makes it a one-possession game, down to 3. Warren to Farrell. Farrell with Cruz waiting on him. Back to Warren. Screen comes from Darnell. They get the switch. Warren has Bodrick on him now. With the left hand all the way down, skip into the corner. Farrell, 3. Back iron, and then it bounces up and hits the stanchion. And it'll be a turnover back to Donda with 1.5 minutes to go. We got a whistle and a timeout coming up.
And again, I mean, that's one of those plays that I think Dellquan could have finished it at the rim. I like the fact that he's being a facilitator and he's looking for his guys in the corner. But I think in game time, you know, we're down less than 2 minutes in the game. He's got to attack downhill and finish this. Like, I think if he attacks, he gets fouled. But just like right there, he got the bucket. I think if he does that consistently, he's either going to get the bucket or the foul. He's going to head to the free throw line. That's what I want to see from him.
He just has such another gear that he can get past everybody, just like Dillingham, both of them. Once they get free and they get to the hoop.
Yeah.
It's just who can keep up with him. The secondary defense has to come to him. And it's just a matter of now, okay, can I make the pass, can I make the shot?
Yeah.
It's a matter of making the right play.
And Dellquan has 8 points in this fourth quarter.
That's what we talked about. Should he be more aggressive? And he has been. He's been shooting it. He's been getting to the basket. You got to like what he's been doing, especially here in the fourth quarter, to get this run for Keystone to get the lead. 90 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. 53-50. Keystone leads it. They've hit 3 triples here in the third quarter, or in the fourth quarter, that is. Mosenga hit 1 on the assist from Warren, and Warren's hit the other 2. Donda's been keeping close by hitting their free throws here in the fourth quarter.
And that's something that we talked about in the third, that it was a struggle.
Cruz lays it off to Dillingham. Comes top of the key. Screen from Taylor. Lays it off to Taylor. Taylor with Mosenga on him. 15 on the shot clock. Taylor looking for some space. Gets down the lane. J.J. Taylor. No, but Bodrick is there for the hammer. What a follow by Omarion Bodrick.
I love this kid's effort and energy on the glass on both ends of the floor.
Warren racing down and hammers home an exclamation point. Oh my, Dellquan Warren. Lead back to 3 with 40 seconds. Dillingham, pass out top, Cruz. Dillingham, 3, off the mark. Mosenga backside rebound. 32 seconds to go. 3-point Keystone lead. The 3-second difference in the shot clock. Blanchett with Dillingham on him, spins away. Blanchett finally gets fouled with 17 seconds to go.
Yeah, I mean, here we're going to get another look at it. I talked about Dellquan being aggressive and finishing that around the rim. He got to the lane and finished over Bodrick, who's been the rim protector for Donda. That right there is a statement.
He realized that in the backcourt that he was going to go all the way down and hammer that. We got a timeout on the floor with 17 seconds to go. 55-52. Keystone leads, and they are at the line. Dellquan Warren is special.
Wow. Wow.
How much has Keystone fed off the crowd here, especially in the fourth quarter?
Oh, entirely. Entirely. The crowd, the atmosphere, they had a moment where they were down, but they've battled and fought back. And I think the energy in this crowd, the energy that Marquell Darnell brings to the floor, the aggressiveness of Dellquan Warren in this second half, all 3 of those things combined is the reason why they're ahead.
You got to remember, they were down 12 at half.
Yep.
They were down 3 to start the third here, and then those 3 big threes just ignited them to start this fourth quarter, and they have never let up.
This place is ready to erupt. I mean, after that dunk by Dellquan, everybody came to their feet.
After the timeout, Donda will bring on Howard, Dillingham, Taylor, Cruz, and more.
I would have expected to see Bryce Alfino.
Or even Chuck Bailey. He's showing some spark. But yeah, Alfino for his 3-point shooting. So Mosenga, Farrell, Warren, Blanchett, and Darnell on the floor for the Kings. And Blanchett's at the line for 1-on-1. And he gets the first one to sink. Blanchett's free throw shooting has been key. 4 or 5 in the fourth quarter alone. Seven for 9 in the game from the line. One more coming up. Gets them both. Extends the lead to 5. And we got substitutions. Tut back in for Keystone. "17 seconds. Dillingham gets it, racing ahead. Pass all the way to the corner. Howard is going to fire a 3 off the mark. No. And whistle on a foul on the rebound. John Farrell's got it. And the Keystone faithful are feeling it with 7 seconds left.
Let's go, Keystone!
Are we going to see a court storm here?
the whole city of Erie.
Is going to storm the court?
Yes.
Maybe even some people from Pittsburgh might join in.
Here, let's just make sure we protect the equipment.
Farrell's first free throw is in. That's a credit to Keystone, too. They're icing it at the line.
Yep.
Their fourth quarter free throw shooting is off the charts. Lead up now to 6 with 7 seconds to go. Farrell turns around and tells me, don't foul. That's good advice. That's big. That's a 3-possession game now. 7 points with 7 seconds. Dillingham spins ahead, pulls up from 35 off the top of the backboard. Howard, his shot at the buzzer off the mark. No, and Keystone is going to come away with a 59-52 victory here in the Cyber Athletics Invitational Royal Rumble over Donda Academy. Huge fourth quarter. Outscored them 20-12. You're going to give an MVP.
Dellquan Warren.
I was going to say, is there any doubt in this one?
Dellquan Warren, 10 points in the fourth quarter.
He was the engine that made it run.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's no question there. I mean, Jan Farrell had an amazing job. Did an amazing job. Marquell Darnell with his energy, but Dellquan Warren put the team on his back in the fourth quarter.
So that's just about going to wrap it up here for the weekend on SUVtv from Laura Gunshin Gymnasium in Erie, PA, in the Cyber Athletics Royal Rumble. As there we go, they announced it, Dellquan Warren, the MVP. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. Final score again, Keystone 59, Donda 52. Have a good night.